Dana White says the McGregor side of the contract for the Mayweather fight is done, and I don't believe a single word of it. Actually, I was talking with, believe it or not, Rick Strom called me yesterday because he was curious about my thoughts on this. He did a video on it recently, and some of the points that he was making are very sound. What's the catch weight? What ounce gloves are they fighting at? Is it a boxing match? When is the date for it? How much money is being paid out to TMT, the money team's promotion? How much money is being paid out to the UFC? Is it a UFC promotion? These are all things that would be leaked if there was a McGregor side signed. These are all things that would be, at this point, public information if there was a McGregor side signed to this deal. I think this fight will happen. Don't get me wrong. There is far too much money to be made for Mayweather, for McGregor, for the promotions that are involved, for the sponsorships that would come in. It would almost be a sickening amount of money at this point. And somebody's gonna take $100 million home, maybe both of them, just to step inside the ring, we would think. But what is getting a little obnoxious is Dana White, who is our only source from the UFC because he's the only one that speaks on behalf of it. And what we know about Conor McGregor and about this fight is that McGregor likes to troll, so we'll do some jabs just like Mayweather does. This was McGregor's tweet after the McGregor side was signed. Let's take a look at that. That's EO6, by the way, element number 6. Let's go get some boxing ones now, son. McGregor just had a kid. It's pretty cute. Good for Conor. But what is important here is that McGregor said in November of last year after the UFC 205 win over Eddie Alvarez, he said, I'm gonna take some time off. I have a kid coming. I will not be fighting until the end of 2017 or 2018. And to be honest, the guy who went to Twitter and said, I'm retiring, thanks for the cheese, is the only one who seems like a reliable source at this point, aside from the jabs that he makes, if you can read between the lines, when it comes to the Mayweather fight. What offer is Mayweather gonna take that McGregor signed on already? Like, the frustrating part about this back and forth is that now Dana White's doing whatever he can to continue to fuel the narrative that there will be a fight. And I'm curious as to why. It's a fun thing to discuss, don't get me wrong. We've done a few stories, I don't think we've gone overboard on them. I think we've been pretty aware of not going overboard on these stories. But when you hear stuff like McGregor signed side of contract, do you believe it? Do you sit there and go, oh my God, we're one step closer? If we've been one step closer, then making a fight is 23,000 steps and we're at step 12. And we have a lot more to go. So Deadspin did something pretty funny. They showed you the contract. It was a Sharpie written contract that Deadspin was going to promote the fight. And there was a signature for, I think, Tom Lay, who's like the editor-in-chief, and then a blank space for Mayweather, a blank space for McGregor, a blank space for UFC, and a blank space for TMT, because that's essentially what Dana White was trying to pull. I think it's a strong-arming tactic to get more money or potentially put it in Floyd Mayweather's court, even though that's not where you want it to be. You don't have the upper hand here in this situation. So he did it on the NBA on TNT, which was so weird to me just because I know that he goes on like Fox and ESPN to make big announcements. It was just like he wanted, I guess, to say it that night, and that happened to be the most relevantly close, like, major platform that he could do it on. So he says it, and they all sit there and they go, okay, great. Could you ask what's in the contract, please, just once? So until I see a contract, I don't believe it. I don't think you should either. I don't think we're that close, but I think it will happen if that's the optimism you need. Comment below, like, favorite, subscribe. TYT Sports is putting on the promotion for Mayweather McGregor. I signed on to it, Dan signed on to it. They're gonna do it in our studio. Now it's in Mayweather and McGregor's court.